Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be live right now. It's been a little while since I have gone live on YouTube, and this is my favorite platform to go live on. I enjoy going live on YouTube more than I enjoy going live on IG, and for various reasons. But I am excited to talk to all of you today about the full moon in Aquarius. So today is 8/8, and it is a peak Leo season day. And I woke up and I was like, kind of want to go live. I kind of want to give the collective a free horoscope, a free full horoscope for the Aquarius full moon. Of course, because Aquarius is all about the collective. So today we're going to chat about the full moon, and we're going to not only chat about the full moon, but I am going to do an oracle reading for each of the signs whilst I talk about the astrology. And I'm going to use astrology cards, actually. So this is an oracle deck. Black Moon Astrology Cards, guidebook by Susan Shepard. So I'm going to use that in the by sign reading. So you definitely want to stick around towards the middle of this video because I'm going to go over all the signs as well. So the whole deal with my lunar energy horoscopes is that this is something that I actually offer to Black Moon Lilith Collective. And I wanted to come on and share the wisdom and knowledge of the full moon that's coming up on August 11th and give you a little bit of a taste of what my tribe members get every single lunar cycle. So, alongside all of the programs and different workshops and just different educational courses that we offer on Black Moon Lilith Collective, I also do a new and full moon reading and horoscope each month for the tribe. So let's get into everything here today. And I'm going to plug the tribe a little bit before we get into the horoscope. I hope all of you are doing well. It's been such a long time since I've gone live. So definitely let me know if you can hear me and see me and that everything is clear. And let's get into talking about the tribe a little bit. So, Black Moon Lilith Collective is my super luxe platform that is for people who absolutely love what I offer here. It's for people that consider me their astrologer and they want to get the transits and they want to understand more about Black Moon Lilith. They want to understand more about astrology, the birth chart, alchemy, manifestation, and you want to dive deeper. So this is really for my diehard followers, fans, and people that love what I do here every single day. And this also supports lilithastrology.com. This supports my mission, what I'm doing here. And this is for those who really, really, really love the content that I put out here each month. So with Black Moon Lilith Collective, and I really encourage you to check out in the link down below what this entails, because I did create a super special promotional video all about Black Moon Lilith Collective. So definitely check that out when you have a chance. But this is really like this is like a spiritual Netflix essentially. And you really can get all the information that you need throughout the month in this one place. And not only is it me, but we have contributors as well. So this platform not only supports my work, but I also give a platform to other creators, esoteric practitioners, to showcase what it is that they do. So you can also gain knowledge and wisdom from other people besides me. This is why this is called a collective. So I thought the Aquarius full moon made a lot of sense to talk about Black Moon Lilith Collective and come on and do this full moon horoscope. But essentially, this is closing August 23rd. So I open this only once a year to be able to purchase. And this is an annual membership. This is a yearly membership. So like the Scorpio that I am, I like to dive deep. And I really want people who are in it for the long haul and want to gain value from their membership and really dive deeper than, say, in an astrology app or a 100-word horoscope every day from whatever place you like to read it. This is for people who really want to take their time and truly learn the astrology. So there's a lot of fun stuff coming up this year. And I do have a lot of stuff already, hundreds of hours of content already on the platform. So there's a lot coming. There was a lot already there. And one thing that I am going to be posting, I'm going to post a little preview of it, but we have some amazing Lilith movement courses and ancestral integration and healing courses created by my fellow practitioner, Tandy Gutierrez. And I'm going to be sharing that on YouTube. I'm going to be sharing that on social media so you can see it. But that is going to be coming up on the tribe. I was originally only going to post this horoscope for the tribe because this is typically private. But I was like, you know what? Let's give everyone a little taste of what's going on. So check out more about Black Moon Lilith Collective. You have until August 23rd, the end of Leo season, to decide if you want to join us for the year. And you can see that in all the links below. Another announcement that I have as well is that on the Coven, which is my free offering, my editorial section on lilithastrology.com, we have monthly horoscopes. And August is already posted. So go over there, check out what your month is going to be like. I also talk about each of the signs and what's in store there as well. So you can check that out on lilithastrology.com as well too. And one more final announcement, I have relaunched my Alchemist Guide to Black Moon Lilith. So this is my free gift. This is a little ebook that gives you a great introduction into Black Moon Lilith, what this means, what my practice is about, and it explains Black Moon Lilith through my lens. And this is a free gift on the website. So head over there now, see it right here, or in the link down below, and sign up for email. So when you sign up for email, you will receive it right in your inbox. And not only that, you will find out when I'm going live or when there's new events like upcoming book launches and other fun stuff. So super, super exciting. Sweet. I'm glad that the audio is great. So let's get into the astrology. So we've got an Aquarius full moon coming up on August 11th. And I know if any of you watching this are astrology buffs, you follow me, you follow other people, you're well versed in what's going on in the cosmos. Today is, yes, the Lionsgate portal, but I do want to also say that this is not really astrology. This is very esoteric, and it's based off of some Egyptian mythology. It's based off of what they used to practice. So yeah, it's the Lionsgate portal, but we are in the middle of Leo season, and we are getting towards peak Leo season right now. So that I would agree with in terms of that. But the 8-8 portal, it's not real astrology. I'm like, sorry to like say that, but it's true. But I really understand. I understand the concept, and I understand it's literally right in the middle of peak Leo season. And I totally get the esoteric wisdom that it is based on. So you guys can check out another source if you want to know more about the Lionsgate portal. But what really prompted me to come on live today is because of this Aquarius full moon that's happening on the 11th this week. So I wanted to come on before it happened so you can really get a good download as to what is coming up. So let's get into the charts. I'm going to share the transits with you guys so you can get more of a visual of what's coming up. So first, what is a full moon, right? We have these every single month. And basically, this is when the moon is completely illuminated, 100%, and is bright in the sky. So a full moon is when the moon, which will be in the sign of Aquarius, is forming a direct opposition with the sun. And we are in Leo season, so the sun is in Leo. So this full moon is highlighting the axis of expression, creativity, the spotlight, and the heart, courage, and royalty. And it's also highlighting the energy of the collective, the humanitarianism of the world, service, science, innovation. And this is the audience as well. So we've got the star of the show highlighted here, Leo, and we've got the audience, we've got the collective that watches this star of the show. And that's really the axis of Aquarius and Leo, right? Like in astrology, we have partner signs. So these signs are completely opposite each other, they're different, but each gives each other what the other doesn't have. So we've got the warmth of Leo at home in the sign of, we've got the sun at home in Leo in the sign of Leo. Say that 5 times fast, you guys. We've got the sun at home in the sign of Leo. The sun rules over Leo. So right now, this is peak summer. This is like when the sun is like, all right, unless you're, in a different part of the world, the sun is like, this is where I'm at home. This is where I shine the brightest. And this is really where the sun is illuminating in your own chart. Everyone has Leo somewhere inside of their own chart. And the moon in Aquarius is really highlighting the collective consciousness of us all. And it's really telling all of us as a collective, where have we been limiting our true self-expression because of others? It's highlighting where have we also been not truly serving the collective, serving humanity? Where have our government systems not been truly serving humanity? This is all being highlighted right now. I mean, I literally have seen headlines the past week that we are one miscalculation away from annihilation as a collective. We've got war going on. We've got violence. And then we also see that we are 1 minute away from, 20 years away from irreversible damage to the planet. And these are all topics that are coming up right now as we gear up for this Aquarius full moon. So we've got the axis of creation and the collective highlighted here. And another thing about this full moon is we've got Saturn trailing the moon retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, and Saturn is at home in the sign of Aquarius. So Saturn in Aquarius has really been testing our system. It's been testing the collective. It's been testing how have we been of service to everyone, and where those systems are failing, we are really seeing it. Saturn in Aquarius, we got a peak of it in 2020. And then Saturn went to full mode Aquarius last year. And this is a 2.5 about year cycle that we're going to experience before Saturn moves into Pisces. And this is really where Saturn is testing a lot of these Aquarian ideals. So always in the first part of my horoscopes, I always do a collective read. So before I get into the signs, I want you all to know that this is really like where I talk about world events. This is where I talk about what's happening as a whole and how the energies are affecting the world. And we're going to get into the signs shortly. But just to preface this even more with that this is a collective read right now. So we've got the moon and Saturn. So this is not a emotional full moon. Yes, the moon represents our emotions, but this is a full moon that's giving warrior vibes. It's really giving revolution, warrior vibes. It's people taking ownership over their truth, over their true self-expression, over what they want in this life. And if they're not getting it, choosing something different, making different decisions. And this can be leaving a relationship. This can be starting new ones. This can be moving. This can be standing up for yourself, expressing your truth. And we can also see this happening on a collective basis. So I mentioned some of the world events. We've got the climate, we've got war. But there's also some things, if we just even take a look at celebrity culture and what's going on there, there's just a lot of spotlights. There's a lot of unveiling. There's a lot of truths coming out. There's a lot of things being revealed in general on a collective scale. So also you can see that our government is starting to take an interest in climate change a little bit more. So I mentioned this in my monthly horoscopes about how the system, the capitalist system that we're all under, tends to choose money and finances over people. But Saturn in Aquarius has really been like, you've got to start making different decisions. If we're not all in this together, then we're not, humanity, it's in question now at this point. So this is what this tail end of Saturn and Aquarius is teaching us, and this is what this full moon is highlighting. And so let's go over the other parts of this full moon. So we've got Saturn at play here with the moon, bringing some restriction, bringing some lessons, being like, where are you not being authentic? Where has someone been restricting your freedom, restricting what you want, restricting your truth and your voice? And we've got a square going on. So we actually have got multiple squares going on with this full moon. So we've got a T square. Actually, excuse me, this is a cardinal cross happening here. Excuse me, no. We have a fixed cross. We have a fixed cross happening here. So we've got fixed signs very activated during this full moon. So we've got the moon and Saturn forming a square. So a square is a harsh, challenging connection. So this is where the up and leaving, this is where the making the decisions is coming from. This is where sudden change is coming from. This is where reasserting your value and your worth is coming from. We've got a square here to the North Node, Mars, and Uranus, all in the sign of Taurus. So this is one part of the fixed cross that we've got going on here. And this is just a lot. So let's break this down for a second, because this can look like a lot here on the charts, but the nodes are getting activated, the nodes of the moon on top of it. And Uranus is the planet of sudden change, shocks, surprises. And it's been in the sign of Taurus since around 2018. And Uranus is also the planet of revolution. And Taurus rules over things like our value, our worth, but then it rules over things like our financial system, the planet, our natural resources, things like our economic structure. And this is a global thing. This is not just the United States that's being highlighted here during Uranus and Taurus. And then we've got an activator here, Mars in the sign of Taurus. So this is what's really making this full moon super, super active, is because we've got all of these squares to some major planets. And the North Node here, this is like a destiny energy, where a lot of you, it's really like you went through some serious life shifts in July. And so now as we move into August during this full moon, it's like the integration of these shifts after they've happened. And so a lot of you, and we're going to get to the by sign horoscopes, so you can understand how it's affecting you on a more individual basis. But on a collective basis, this is changes in our money, our financial structure. This is taking action in the direction of sustainability, of what's long-term for us as a global society. And you can see even they just passed a very monumental bill in terms of climate change and the climate crisis. Just recently, I just saw it on the New York Times, and this whole area is just getting activated right now. So that's definitely a manifestation of that. So we've got this square going on here to all this Taurus energy, but the other part of this fixed cross is that we've got the sun in Leo squaring also. So we've got this big box here. That's what a fixed cross essentially is. This is the formation in the chart, and it's one of tension. And so lastly, we've also have the South Node in Scorpio. And the North and South node in Scorpio and Taurus can be a little rough, honestly. So Scorpio energy represents things like death, imminent change. This represents money that you owe. I mean, I literally just heard about, speaking of public figures and manifestation of these energies, is Shakira. So I looked at her birth chart and it got like a, let's say like a C rating on the internet, but I did look more at the outer planets, and those are pretty accurate as long as her birthday is accurate. And she's having eclipses in her second house with Jupiter in Taurus and Black Moon Lilith. And then in opposition to that, she's got Uranus in Scorpio. So if you are experiencing something like this, all of us have placements or houses filled with these signs. Take a look at where this is happening for you. But this can be things like dealing with debt. She is essentially being accused of tax evasion. And this is very Scorpio South node shit. Like, this is the money that you owe. This is debts. This is things you can't escape, like taxes and death. Inheritances are here as well. Scorpio South node energy can also represent letting go of an old identity, ego death, letting go of an old way of life. Some of you are stepping into a completely different life this month because of the activations on these nodal points here. So we've got this big ass fixed cross just bringing tension during this full moon. But we do have some support. So this full moon isn't all about difficulty. I believe this full moon is really about it's stepping into your light. It's stepping into who you are. And you may feel some tension around that. You may feel some backlash around that. But ultimately, it's for the best. It's the best choice for you. So a lot of you are making decisions that may feel challenging or stepping into new realities that are internally challenging, but they're ultimately going to be the best for you. So the support that we do have during this full moon is the Sun in Leo will form a trine to Jupiter retrograde in Aries. And we've got Chiron retrograde in Aries here, forming a pretty close connection. So this is about healing. This is about reaping the rewards from a lot of past efforts. Some of you may have been putting a lot of time and sweat equity into a creative project, into your voice, into what it is that you do, into the light that you want to bring to this world. And maybe it's been kind of rough. And now during this full moon, you will start to see a manifestation of luck and some breakthroughs in that with this trine to Jupiter retrograde in Aries. And the thing is also with Jupiter in Aries, it's about being yourself. So Jupiter brings luck, abundance, and growth to the planet that it forms aspects with and connects with. And Jupiter in Aries is about being authentically in your truth and really being yourself. It's also a warrior energy. So at the same time, even though we've got the Sun trine Jupiter, there is some breakthrough and luck happening. On a global scale, we can see some aggression ramp up. This is very reflected in the news. And this is like some serious divine masculine warrior energy that we also have at play during this full moon. So one more energy that I do want to touch upon that is definitely going to affect this full moon is the moon is square Mars. And we got Saturn square Mars in Taurus. And Mars in Taurus is not so comfortable. Mars is in what we call its stability. It's not, it's the opposite of its rulership, which is Scorpio. So it's a little bit more, it's challenging to move through. So there may feel like there's obstacles, or there may feel like you have to really overassert yourself or really stand up for your value and worth. So that is also a big part of this full moon. So this is a full moon that is steeped in authenticity, that is all about your truth. And it may not feel the most comfortable at times, but that's what my practice is all about. That's what this life is all about, is sometimes you have to be in uncomfortable situations and be honest with yourself. And you will feel breakthroughs. You will see breakthroughs if you attempt life in that way. So now that was the collective read. So now I typically go over each of the signs, but I do this a little bit differently. And I think some other astrologers do it this way as well. But I base my horoscopes on the rising sign. So if you know your rising sign, you can listen up for that. If you don't know your rising sign, you can quickly go to an online calculator, look up your birth chart and get it that way. And then also you can watch your sun sign. If you don't know your rising sign, and you typically, you need to know your birth time to know your rising sign. I can do chart rectification, and I have in the past, but you need your birth time to know your rising sign. And if you are also interested in knowing your chart more fully from me, I am doing personal readings. So my books are open on Intro app. And I did put that information down in the description box below. So Intro app, and then also Hey Hero. So one of them, it's like a live video call with me, and the other, you submit a question and I send back a response. So if you want to know more about your chart that way, you can as well too. So I will also complete each sign with an oracle card reading. So let's get down to it. So Aries. Aries. This is happening in your 5th house and in your 11th house. So this is the part of your life that represents things like creativity, self-expression. This is creative projects. And this also can mean investments. This is things like the stock market, or if you've invested in your own side hustle, or if you've invested in, you put a lot of time into something and you're expecting or hoping to reach for and receive rewards. And this full moon in Aquarius is really changing up the way that you do those things, you approach those things. So this can be a new creative idea. This can be a complete change of how you do this, how you do your medium, how you express yourself to the world. And this also can be a change in how you are investing or gaining certain things in your life. And the 11th house on the opposite end of the spectrum represents things like friends. This is things like your network. This is dreams. This is the higher vision that you have. This is the long-term vision that you have for your life. This is like the dream realm. This is in manifestation. This is the thoughts. This is the vibration. And the 5th house on the opposite end of the spectrum is how those things manifest. And so a lot of you are really changing where you see yourself going. Some of you are changing who you're surrounding yourself with, and your dreams are changing, and the long-term vision that you have for yourself. And this is a big time of personal growth because we've got that trine to Jupiter in Aries. So someday you're going to have to make some decisions that are uncomfortable, but it's going to be better for your personal growth in the long term. So like I had said, money. So in astrology, this is the area of life that rules over material wealth, goods, things that you own. This is how you earn an income. It's how you make your money. So like, again, I'm saying this is like the creative vision switch that's going to ultimately help you create the life that you want for yourself, create the long-term vision for yourself. So a big focus on finances during this Aquarius full moon. And I got some Virgo energy as well. And guess where Mercury is right now? In the sign of Virgo. And this is in your 6th house. So a lot of you are really putting in the work right now. You can feel like it's like you got to be on every day, and you really got to pay attention to the details. Some of you may feel like your daily schedule is pretty intense right now because you're focusing on your coin. You're focusing on that bigger picture that you have for yourself. So don't get too lost in over analyzing your decisions and over analyzing what should come next. I think it's listening to your intuition and then also making peace with change, being happy with change. And we're getting the eclipses are happening actually in your second house. So even though the full moon is in your fifth, like I was saying, like right now you're having eclipses around your money. So be okay with change. And when you're okay with that, listen to your intuition and be authentic with your vision and where you want to go. That'll be much better for your coin, Aries. All right, so let's move on to Taurus. I'll pull up your chart. So, Taurus, this is happening for you in the area of your home, family. This is also affecting your career and your life path. So a lot of you Taurus are going to have or are going through major changes around family, changes around your home. You could have moved, someone could have moved in, you could be renovating your home and changing the look and feel. But I think a lot of you are really also releasing some of the limitations you have around family. There could be some ancestral trauma or ancestral healing that's going on right now as well too. And some of you maybe are experiencing some change in career and in life path. And some of you may be like, it's time to leave. This isn't authentic to me. This isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I see in my future for the long term. And you are moving on and moving towards something that is true and real for you. So, of course, the first card I pick is the Sun. And you are one of the signs that is on deck with the eclipse cycle that's going on right now in Taurus and Scorpio. We've got the nodes there as well. So Taurus in general, whether you're rising or sun or moon, you are going through a complete change in identity. And this is for the next 18 months. So listen to your spirit. Listen to what you are. Listen to who you are. Also reclaim your value. You've got all that energy in Taurus right now, the North Node, you've got Mars, you've got Uranus, and this is really shifting who you are as an individual. The sun rules over who you are. So right now, big personal changes are coming for you. And like I said, fourth house, roots. So this is where the full moon is happening for you. And so it's important for you to release. The thing is about family is it's like we learn certain things from them, and some of them are programming that can limit us. Some of it is great. Some of it can help expand us, lay stable foundations for us. But sometimes some of the things we learn or pick up from our ancestry can be very limiting. So this full moon is asking for you to release certain things and plant new roots, or change the way that you view life and your beliefs. Because sometimes what you've learned from family isn't all there is. And then we get Gemini. So overthinking can come at this time. But this is also a time to focus on shifting thoughts. This goes along with the fourth house energy, because fourth house also represents emotions, and your thoughts and your emotions are what create reality. They're your frequency. So using this time to change your thoughts, change your beliefs, and align them with the future that you actually want, and not what like your parents want for you or your family wants for you, or what is traditionally accepted. So on that note, let's go to Gemini. And if anyone in the chat has questions, drop them in the chat. So Gemini. So the full moon's happening for Gemini risings in the 9th house. So these are things like foreign travel, international matters. This is things like higher education, higher learning. Publishing is here as well. So this full moon in Aquarius is highlighting all of those things for you, Gemini. So some of you could be moving abroad. Some of you could be working with people from a different country. Some of you could be going back to school, gaining some sort of certification. And another thing too about the 9th house, is that it's actually very spiritual. So some of you could be increasing your spiritual knowledge, delving into a practice that you've never tried before, or changing your perspective about your spirituality and the things that you believe. And we've got the sun in your 3rd house of communication as well. So another thing too is a lot of Geminis, you're in communication, you're in marketing, you're in writing. So some of you could have a fantastic new project that's coming up for you that's going to transform a lot of your creative vision and where you see yourself going. I mean, you guys are the messengers, you are the creative speakers, so you can experience a lot of shifts in that area of your life during the full moon. So let's get some wisdom from the cards. All right, so the South Node is actually in this area of your chart. So this is the 6th house card that I pulled here. And this represents our routine. This represents the things that we do each day. This represents what is involved and what a bigger idea or our work, what it takes to actually get things done. This is the details. This is things like your day job. This is also health here as well. So a lot of you, that's transforming and changing with that South Node in Scorpio that we're experiencing right now. So a lot of you are experiencing changes in mindset, changes in your routine, and really shifting what is no longer working for you. And of course, I pulled the moon card. And a lot of you, the moon is in a very spiritual place for you right now. So you are experiencing changes in your being and who you are. And I think some of you also, if you're finding you're becoming tired of your routine or your work, or the things that you do every day, you are delving into what truly makes you happy and then changing it. So we've got Mars here, and Mars is in the mix of this full moon. So a lot of you are really going to feel the energy this full moon to move forward and change your routine, change what's not working, and move towards a more aligned reality for yourself. So my favorite Cancer rising, it's not because I'm one or anything. This is your full moon. And you know what's really interesting for Cancers is that the moon is your planetary ruler. So the moon rules over your sign, and the moon rules our emotions. So with full moons and new moons, they really affect you more than any other sign because this is your planet. So it's so important to pay attention to moon cycles as a Cancer rising, or if you have sun or moon, this also is important for you as well. So let's pull up your chart. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. So Cancer, this is happening for you in your 8th house. So this is things like debts, loans, inheritances. This is money from other people. This is also joint finances. So money that's shared within a relationship or marriage. This is also things like the occult, like this, tarot. astrology, witchcraft. So a lot of you are going to experience some shifts in those areas of your life. Maybe you're going to change how you approach your finances. Some of you are going to change how that's structured. Some of you could have gotten married recently or be joining finances with a significant other. Some of you could be investing as well. So we've got the sun in Leo in your second house of money. And some of you could also be changing your business, changing creative strategy, shifting how you earn your money and how that's done. And some changes as well in your friendships and who you associate yourself with. So maybe some of you could be gaining some help from women in your life, or if you have some contacts that are divine feminine, they could be stepping in to help you during this time as well. So I pulled the Sun card, and this really points to the sun in Leo in your second house of money. That is a big focus for you during this full moon. So this is a full moon that is all about the money for you. And like I was saying, in terms of joining finances with someone or managing finances with someone, we've got Capricorn, which is actually your partner sign. So Capricorn is very practical. It's about structure when it comes to finances. It's about saving for a rainy day, not blowing it all. So a lot of you are shifting your approach to finances or shifting your approach to how you share resources and becoming more practical. And some of you also could be focused on that change with a romantic partner or a relationship. And of course, I pull the second house card because this is one big part of the full moon story for you, Cancer. I just really love how accurate the astrology cards are. I'm telling you, like every time I do the transits and then I start pulling cards, it's like that transit pops up. It's lovely. So let's move on to Leo. So Leo, even though this is an Aquarius full moon, this is one of the most important full moons of the year for you because the sun is in your sign. So the moon is illuminating your area of relationships and things like bonds. This is like the important factors in a relationship. This is also things like contracts, agreements, business partners, business partnership. So all of these things are going to become more solidified during this full moon because we've got Saturn there. So some of you Leos can be going through a relationship that is becoming more serious, or a new business relationship. And some of you could also, if you're single, shift your perspective of what you want in a long-term relationship or who you need in a long-term relationship. This is also a time of career change because we've got all that Taurus energy in your 10th house of career. So some of you, if you're not getting your value and you're not getting the money that you want, you might leave, cut and run. But this is for the best. This is for your good because you got the sun in Leo forming a trine to Jupiter. And Venus is actually in Leo right now. And Venus brings some luck. Venus helps make certain things easier. So when you've got Venus in your sign, it's like a little cosmic glow up. So even though there's some tension going on during this full moon, there are some planets that are here to support you. And it's important for you to choose yourself. And that growth will come from doing that. So of course, Jupiter's in the mix of this full moon, and I pick Jupiter. So some of you could be going through your Jupiter return. This happens once every 12 years if you have Jupiter and Aries in your chart. But all in all, this card is indicating that after this time of change and transformation, there will be personal growth. There will be benefits from it. And of course, I pick freaking Scorpio energy, and I pick the freaking North Node that are all part of this full moon. Scorpio energy is all about imminent change. Like I was saying at the beginning of this live, we've got the South Node there, and we've got the North Node. So you are shifting towards your life's purpose. And through really being honest with yourself on what it is that you want and what it is that is true for you, you will reap the benefits of that later. And honestly, more than likely before the end of this year for you, Leo. So let's move on to Virgos. Virgos, it's almost your season, which is exciting. I feel like Virgo season is always like back to business, back to school. I mean, it's not a coincidence that all of those things happen around that time. This is the time where we have the harvest. So all of the plants and food and abundance that we experience during the fall, we need to save for a rainy or snowy day. All the things we experience in the summer, we need to save in the fall to then enjoy during the winter when things are not so barren. So right now, Virgo, this is actually a time of abundance for a lot of you. You've got the full moon in your 6th house of work. And it's also illuminating some things around your mindset. So the one thing I know about Virgo rising is that a lot of you may have felt like a little bit restricted when you were younger. And this can last through adult life. But there were just some things earlier in your life where you felt like you had to be perfect, or that you had to grow up fast, or that you couldn't really have fun sometimes. Like you really had to be responsible. But this full moon is illuminating that Leo energy and helping you to release that and to let loose. Maybe release some of the intense work that you've been doing. If a lot of you have been working on something and just feel a bit exhausted, things can come to a head during this full moon in Aquarius, and you can change some things about your daily habits or the way that you're approaching your day-to-day routine and your life, and not work so hard, but really embrace some fun and embrace play and creativity. You also have Mercury at home right now. So this is your ruling planet in the sign of Virgo in your 1st house of self. So this is also forming some connections with all that Taurus energy. So some of you could be doing something like publishing a book, getting more of a certification, solidifying your skills. And some of you could be traveling, maybe even working with people from a different country. But this is a time of expansion for you as well. So it's time to let loose and expand your consciousness through experience during the full moon in Aquarius. So Spirit chose the part of fortune. And this is a lucky placement in astrology. What's really interesting is that the part of fortune, it's like, it's not Jupiter, but it's where we can manifest abundance or things for ourselves in this life. And actually the transiting part of fortune during this full moon is in your 2nd house of money in the sign of Libra. So I think from relationships and from people that you know, a lot of you can experience some breakthroughs during this full moon. Relationships are coming up for you as well. We've got Neptune, which also represents things like sacrifice. It also represents spirituality. But we've got Neptune in your chart. It's in your relationship house. So some of you may be feeling like, and this has to go with the 6th house energy I was talking about earlier too, you may feel like you have to really forego your self-care and you're draining your energy in certain relationships. But the thing is, the only one that can drain your energy is yourself. Like you can choose who you want to keep around you and who you want in your life. And this full moon in Aquarius could be really testing that. Another thing too, during this full moon is you got Mercury in your sign opposite Neptune in the relationship house. So there can also be, you can maybe have a little words and really be like, you know what, I'm not sacrificing myself anymore for this. Like I need to take care of what I need to take care of in myself. And some of you may learn some lessons regarding this during this full moon. And like I said, relationships. Venus is the goddess of relationships. This is coming up. I love how I can't, like, there we go. And not only just love relationships too, but it's like friendships and it's like contracts. So how we bond ourselves to other people, especially when it comes to money. So that's coming up as well too. Don't sacrifice yourself. If you're doing that, then that's on you. And that's really what the cards want to convey is you've got to put yourself first, Virgo. So let's move on to my beautiful Libras. So pop these back in the deck. So Libra, the full moon in Aquarius is illuminating your 5th house. And we've got the sun in Leo in your 11th house. So these are the parts of the chart that represent things like your creativity, your self-expression, and your friendships, and who you surround yourself with. So a lot of you can find this is a very social time for you. Some of you could be collaborating on something new with a new group of people. Maybe this could be something innovative that you're working on, but there can be some friction, maybe around finances, maybe around budget with that, maybe around your value. Maybe you feel like you're not being compensated enough for what you're doing. And some of you may choose to change it. If any of you work in the creative field or in writing or in something like media, there can be an opportunity to completely shift how you've been doing that and maybe even change jobs. Some of you could receive some opportunities from people that you know. So this is also a time of fun, but to also remember to focus on your worth and your value, because I think some of you may realize like certain friends or associates that you're surrounding yourself with may not have your best interests at heart. So it's important to practice discernment during this full moon. But this full moon is also about reveals. So certain things may be revealed to you and you may realize like, I need to shift course. I need to change. Of course. I'm telling you, the cards always come out. So, Grand Cross, this is a big formation that is happening during this this full moon, and this is a formation that represents change. We got Provoker. So Grand Crosses in astrology, they are about tension and they lead to shifts. They lead to change. They lead to leaving situations. So a lot of you are going to be feeling that tension, that energy, and it can be revolving your career, the 10th house. This also represents your higher wishes, like where you see yourself going. So this is also some of that Leo 11th house energy as well. But you can have the world if you want to. If you want to make some decisions that can feel tough right now, that can feel scary, that's when the universe gives you everything. That's from my experience. Just, I literally like left a full-time job to do what I'm doing here, and I'm thriving and I'm doing well because I made a decision that may have seemed crazy at the time. But of course, as I always say, make responsible decisions that are right for your wallet. But this Aquarius full moon is really going to provoke you to choose the world rather than not receiving what you deserve. And then we also got Venus here. So Venus is in the sign of Leo during this full moon. And I think a lot of you are going to be like, what do I love? If you've been doing something that hasn't been sparking a fire, you're going to make a change towards what you actually love, what truly lights your fire and is satisfying to you. And Venus is also you. It's your planetary ruler. So big changes with you as well during this full moon because you're showing up in that card reading. So I'm going to do a good shuffle here. before we move on to the next. So let's move on to Scorp. So Scorpio, my other favorite sign. This is my sun sign. But Scorpio rising or sun or moon, however you want to spin it. And I know I literally have moved, so this is like legit true. Like you can see, if you've been following me for some time, my background has changed because I moved. But you're having the full moon in your 4th house of home. So a lot of you Scorpios are moving somewhere that is more long-term for you, more stable. Some of you are also releasing some of the ancestral baggage. Some of you are releasing some emotional baggage. And you're also going through changes in your career as well, because you've got that Leo energy in the 10th house too. So this is a time of work changes for a lot of you stingers right now. But you've got the eclipses happening in your sign. So this is just like one big boost in the personal changes you are experiencing over the past year or going to experience. So home is your sanctuary, and you should feel stable and you should feel secure where you live. So this full moon is really going to show you like where you're not getting that and kind of encourage you to choose and move towards something that's more stable for you. See comments here. Virgo is your 11th house. Cool. Awesome. Scorpio moon from Bolivia, originally from New York. Nice. Who's contending with health issues. Yeah. So yeah, this Uranus North Node Mars energy in Taurus can be really challenging. So Scorp, what is in the cards for you? Okay. Well, Scorpio, it's an Aquarius full moon. I mean, literally, this is your 4th house of home. This is where it's happening. So I pulled this card, and that's what's up. So as usual, the cards are verifying. And we've got abundance here. So Jupiter is the planet representing abundance and growth and luck. And that is actually in your 6th house of work and health in your routine. So another thing too that I think specifically Scorpio risings have been dealing with in the terms of their work life is people undermining their leadership. Like people not like, I don't know, like challenges with colleagues, tension around the workplace. And a lot of you during this full moon are really going to be like, enough's enough. Like, I know what's up. I know what I'm worth. Like, I know. And you're going to make some decisions, make some changes that are going to lead you more towards the growth and the leadership roles or just what you want to do in your work. And then also there can be some blessings. So Grand Trine, this is a beautiful connection in astrology. And this is like, it makes things easier. So you're going to go through this change in your home. You're going to go through this change that may uproot some of the stable foundation that you have been experiencing, but ultimately know that it's moving you more towards positive abundance and blessings. So listen, Scorpio, I know. But the thing is us Scorpios, we like change. I'm like, what? That happens every day. Whether it's a big change or a small change is happening all the time to you, Scorpio. So it's not something that you can't handle. So I see. Let's see. Yeah, there's somebody, like some scammer in the comments in Facebook, so I'm just blocking them right now. Don't do that on my page, honey. No, 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 no. I've had enough of these freaking people. No more scamming on my page. Okay. So let's move on to Sag. So Sagittarius rising. Boop, boop. This is happening in your third house. So Sag, the third house represents things like writing, communications, documents. Ooh, that popped out fast. Email communication. This is also siblings and think like cousins or like childhood friends. This is also things like media, marketing is here as well. So some of you could have some difficulty in that area. Maybe there's some difficult communication. Maybe you're going to have to mitigate a certain challenge. There might be some damage control, but ultimately it will be better. You will get past that. You'll move past that. And then some of you, this could really shift how you approach your creativity. Maybe these bumps in the road were needed during this full moon in Aquarius portal so that you could kind of change perspective, change your method, and change how you've been doing things. This full moon is also about international travel or higher education. So some of you Sages could be traveling, which is like, duh, that's what your sign's all about. So, and it's summer. I mean, if you watch the news, it's like everybody and his mother's going on vacation. Of course, I pull you in this in the house that I'm talking about in the reading. You'll see in a second. But yeah, so some of you could literally be traveling or expanding your consciousness, or just dealing with some fraught or challenging communication. But don't worry, things will pull through. So of course, it's about you. I pulled Sagittarius, and a lot of you are shifting your perspective, your vision, and feeling more empowered in yourself. I also pulled the first house. So this represents the body. And then we also have some energies going on too. I do want to say this, which I didn't mention when I was talking about the astrology, but you've got the North Node, Mars, and Uranus and Taurus in your sixth house of health. And it's important for you all to kind of take care of that. Sag risings, focus on taking it slow, because all that Taurus, those three placements we've got going on there right now, it's important for you to do so because there can be something sudden or just something challenging come up in your daily routine, in your daily life. So definitely be aware of that. But I pulled these two cards. And of course, I'm not a medical professional. I like to always say that when I talk about health. Always see a doctor if you feel like you need to. And then we have the ninth house, which I said that the sun in Leo during this full moon is there as well. And this represents things like shifting your perspective through travel, higher learning, education, and dealing with things having to do with spirituality. So this also can be a time where there may be some shifts with how you see your spirituality and how you express that. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching. So, and let me know if you're on Facebook and you see the scammer scamming for these fake readings. Block them or just comment and let me know. But I blocked them, I think. I'm using StreamYard platform. So I think it allows me to do that. But yeah, not on my watch, honey. Okay. So let's move on to Capricorn rising. Whoa. Okay. Cap. That wanted to come out. So Capricorn, the full moon is in your money house. So the moon in Aquarius will be in your second house of money. And We got the Sun and Leo in your 8th house of debts, loans, inheritances, shared resources. So money is on deck for you during this full moon. So some of you could really just change like how you're earning your money, what work you do, the creative projects that you are putting out. And some of you could change the structure of how you're budgeting your money. Some of you could ask for a raise. Some of you may not receive that promotion and decide to leave and change your financial situation. And then some of you could be dealing with some changes around fertility. So that's obviously something that will change money, is if there is a new addition to your family or if there are some changes within the lives of your children. So some of you could be dealing with that as well too, but it can feel a little stressful. I think the whole debts piece for some of you Capricorns can really be stressing you out, but don't worry, there's resolution at the end of this. But this is about money, honey. And I mean, Capricorns, you all love to budget and structure. So this is the time that you're going to be doing just that. And of course, I have Taurus. So again, material goods, money are going to be top of mind during this full moon in Aquarius. And we've got, I said Mars is in Taurus right now. So it's just going to be major moves and changes when it comes to what you have and your money. And we've got the Sun spirit as well. So the thing is the society that we've grown up in and have been indoctrinated into, really for the masses has demonized money and made it something that is either unattainable to have or essentially evil. And I think a lot of Capricorn rising specifically, because you've got Pluto in the final degrees in Capricorn, you're really transforming your ideas around it and changing your views about it. So as a result, ultimately the amount of money that you have is going to change. And I think a lot of you are really valuing your work more, and valuing the leadership that you bring to the table. So this is a time of leveling up your mindset around money, and changing how you invest it. So it's super exciting for Caps, I know. So let's move on to Aquarians. So Aquarius, this is your full moon. This is the most powerful full moon of the year for you because the moon is in your sign. And this is rare because you've got the moon with your planetary ruler, Saturn. So this might feel like a little bit of an uncomfortable full moon. And things that were initiated on July, the full moon last year was like July 13th, the same full moon. This is now more of a completion and manifestation of that energy for you. But there can be some tension during this full moon. So some of you, there can be some challenge with family members. Things are involving the home. Some of you could be moving or changing your home base and your sanctuary. And some of you could finally be like, you know what? I'm stepping into myself. I'm stepping into my truth, and I'm not doing what everyone expects of me. And that's what your energy is all about. And that's the thing is like Aquarius, a lot of you feel like your true selves aren't accepted by society. But now with this Saturn and Aquarius transit that we're experiencing, we're going to move into Pluto in Aquarius next year, March 2023. This is your time. So this full moon in Aquarius is helping you really integrate the shadow of not accepting yourself. You're the weirdo of the Zodiac, and that's fine. But if other people don't accept that, that's their problem, So a lot of you are really going to be changing and shifting internally, changing and shifting outside of what your family expects, what other people expect, and escaping that. So 12th house in astrology is actually about like ancestral wounds, ancestral healing, things that are passed down generationally, and you're escaping that. And transforming. We got Pluto. I just talked about Pluto going into your sign next year. This is like a 16-year trans. Like we've been in Pluto and Capricorn since 2008. So this is like big, you know, like the last time I had Pluto in my sign was when I was born. I'm a Pluto in Scorpio. So this is very rare. So this full moon in Aquarius is like locking you into that change, putting on the seatbelt for what's ramping up the second half of this year. So we're in for transformation. And of course, I pull more change cards for you. The lunar eclipse. This is happening in the area of Taurus and Scorpio for you. And this is having to do with the home again and family. And it also has to do with your life path and career and where you see yourself professionally. So this is a big full moon for you, Aquarius. So stick with who you are and what's authentic to you, you know? I mean, it's just that's like something that has just been, until recent times, has been so taboo in our society. It's like everybody wants to be the same. Everybody wants to look the same and dress the same, and the culture and the No. Aquarius creates the culture. So that's what you need to value in yourself. And that's really going to empower you through this Aquarius full moon. So last but not least, my Pisces babies, my emotional Pisces, and one of my fave signs. I love Pisces. This is your reading. So this is happening for you in your 12th house. And you also got the 6th house at play as well. So this has to do with your mindset. This has to do with how you approach your health, how you approach your daily life, your routine. This has to do with the support you receive at work. And some of you might be feeling like time's up on the way that I've been scheduling myself, the way that I've been approaching how I work, and the way that I value myself. A lot of life is mindset. This is something that I teach regularly, that our mindset is everything. And when you have a 12th house full moon, it's highlighting what's kind of in the blinders, in the blind spot energetically, and like keeping you stuck in the place that you're at right now. So this full moon is like really shining a light on where are you really limiting your true self and your true expression. And some of you may be like in like a boring job that you're just like, I want to break out. I want to express myself creatively. I want to be authentic. I want to have fun. And so this full moon is really like liberating you. And this is also a time where it might not seem like a great idea financially, but in the long run, it will be better. And like I always say, make good decisions for yourself. I'm not a financial advisor, but the decisions that you make that are more in alignment with your true self at this time will be the ones that pay off the most. So let's pull your card. This one's like popping out. So do one more little shuffle. I love these cards. Astrology cards are great because you're getting the like intuitive information, but you're also getting the transit information at the same time. It's really awesome. So, all right. So like I said, 6th house routine, changing this up, focusing on what is right for you and also what's fun. It's like you have Leo in your 6th house of work. Like you want to be creative. You want to have fun. You want to express yourself. And if you're feeling like the current place you're at is not doing that, you're going to make a change. And I also pulled the body, 1st house, and relationships, partners. So another thing too that's happening during this full moon is you've got Mercury in Virgo in your relationship house. And so some of you may be having some discussions with someone else. It could be a love relationship, but also could be like a business partner, work relationship. And you're putting yourself first. You're putting your physical health and your body first. And so there may be some tension around that, but ultimately choosing yourself is better for you in the long run. So, everyone, that was your full moon horoscope. Pisces rising, nice. Thank you so much for watching. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this full moon in Aquarius horoscope. This is typically something that I do for my Black Moon Lilith Collective tribe, but I wanted to give everyone here on Facebook a little taste. And since Aquarius energy is all about the collective and service, I want to just come on and share my information. And if you are interested and you loved what you saw here, definitely check out what I have to offer with Black Moon Lilith Collective. That is in the description box below. And I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.